Hey guys, Geno Zero, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Whatever part of the world that you are in. And in our part of the world, we are in the early winter, extremely late fall, and it's time for a lot of the dried corn to start coming off of the husk. Back in the old days, or if you drive by an old timer's place or something, you notice a big, what they call corn cribs, which is big, round, look like a silo, but they've got wire around the edge for the corn to be able to dry out. And oftentimes you'll see big ears of corn in there that's been drying since they harvested them. And then this is what you'll get. My buddy Kurt grew this corn. It's called Hickory King. It's just regular corn. This is not a sweet corn variety. This is just regular, like a field corn, but it's not like the yellow feed corn. It's just regular corn. There's nothing special about it. It's just a regular variety of heirloom corn that he grew a few rows to go along with his beans, because this variety gets nice and tall. But you can use yellow, your regular yellow field corn. I would not recommend any kind of corn specifically used for feed, because that's probably not going to be very tasty. And sweet corn is usually not going to be very tasty when we're doing it this way. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be husking it, we're going to be shelling it like this, and we're going to make what, around these parts here, and I'm sure they've got different names for it everywhere. In our part here in northern Appalachia, our old timers call it parched corn. And now I'm sure every different dialect in every different section of the country has got different terms for what we're cooking here, or they call parched corn something else. But we're just going to shell it like this off of the husk, or off of the cob. And I always find that if you break the cob in two, it's a lot easier to go ahead and start shelling it. And then over here behind me, let me get this here over this, and we'll go to the next step. And like I said, it's just all different dialects for different parts of the country. Essentially what we're making is corn nuts. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the corn nuts that you buy in the store, the bags and stuff. That's pretty much what we're making. All right, so we've got our cob. Now here behind me, I've got my cast iron skillet. I've got it on medium heat. And all we're going to do is take a handful of our corn, and we're going to put it in our skillet. I've got a little thing to cover the skillet right here handy, because this still has a little bit of moisture in it. And sometimes it can start popping and snapping and go crazy. And I even take it a little bit further, and I lay a towel over the top like this, because it's going to splash with our lard. We're using lard. Feel free to use vegetable oil, whatever kind of oil it is that you like to cook with, sunflower oil, vegetable oil. It probably won't taste very good with olive oil, but you can hear it popping and snapping in there. It's not popcorn. Popcorn is a different variety of corn that'll puff and pop up. Y'all, everybody knows what popcorn is. This is just the moisture that's left in this corn that's, when it hits hot grease, it pops out. And here in a second, it'll stop. And once it does, then we'll take the cover off and you guys can see it. So, regular corn, pull it out of the husk, shell it off of the cob, hot skillet we got lard in ours with whatever kind of oil you like. It's about 350 degrees, medium-ish heat, a little over medium. You can still hear it popping and carrying on. Every once in a while you're going to want to give it a quick stir. You can see, ooh, it's still popping. You want to be careful not to burn yourself. We're just going to move it around until it becomes golden brown, ooh, and pops all over the place. Like I said, it's something that you want to be careful with. Ooh, there's an escapee right there. Get back in there, you. And I'm quite sure different parts of the country, they call this something else, or they call parched corn something else. I think Ricky Wallace, my buddy down in Florida, says that what they call parched corn is something that has been partially roasted or partially boiled. But here in these parts of Appalachia, in our hills, we call this parched corn. And you can see it's starting to fry up, and it's getting nice and brown and delicious. But during the wintertime, back in the old days, during the wintertime, the old timers, if they wanted a little snack, a little bit of a treat, they would go to their corn crib, they would get a couple of ears of corn, and they would come in and they would fry them up like this. And that way they had a little snack, a little crunchy something in the afternoon. And that's just another part of you know how things were kind of done around this area. Everybody had a corn crib, and most folks grew their corn alongside their beans. And the old, everybody knows the Three Sisters form of gardening. So now we're going to pull them off, and we're going to set them on here onto a paper towel or a tea towel or any kind of towel. Just have some of that extra grease start draining off of it. If you've ever had the corn nuts from the store, then you will like this. These are pretty much this is what we're doing. We're making the corn nuts, a salty snack, corn flavored treat. Get all these kernels out of the grease. Let them start draining. And while they're still hot, and while there's still a little bit of grease on them, give them a light dusting of salt, like that. And you see we have some here that's already done. They've already been salted. They've cooled off a little bit, and you can just get them and eat them like you would corn nuts right out of the bag. They're crunchy, and surprisingly, they taste like corn. So there you have it, guys. I'm going to stop eating while I finish the video. There you have it. It's really easy. It's a nice little treat in the fall and the winter time. If you like corn nuts, you will definitely like doing this. It's something that you can do with your kids. Be careful. There's going to be hot grease popping. Some sort of a cover and a towel if you have your kids around. And enjoy. Another old-time treat. So we love them, and I guess you guys will too. So give it a shot. If I can do it, you guys can totally do it. So I hope this helps. Give you some new ideas of what to do with some corn that you have laying around. And guys, we'll see you in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. God bless. Me.
Buzz, buzz, the end.